I don't understand why this person, I don't want to allow this person to take more advantage of my career and try to promote himself, get press for this. This shouldn't be out there, for people to give their opinion when there's nothing to talk about. There's paper signs.
Actress Sofia Vergara talking about her ex-fiancé, Nick Loeb. Loeb is suing to get possession of 2 fertilized embryos that were frozen while the couple was together. Now, the couple split last year. Both of them signed a contract requiring, this is the key word, mutual consent before using them. Vergara reportedly wants them destroyed, but this is what Loeb had to say.
Lives were already created. We created, a lot of the questions is why don't you move on and meet somebody else? And no doubt I would love to do that, but it doesn't matter that 2 lives have already been created. I wouldn't just toss them aside no different than a child that had been born.
All right, Susan, so where do Loeb's rights start and stop, especially when there's a contract that seems pretty clear? If both of them aren't on the same page here, then nobody's getting these eggs.
Well, I think we have to go back to the whole question of when does conception occur, and you look at Roe versus Wade, and it's not with these embryos. But then the question is, what are they? Are they property, or are they something else? If they're property, then people can contract and make advanced decisions about how they would be disposed of. But if they're not property, then what are the rights of the individuals? Does this fertilized embryo have any rights? I think the answer to that is no, but it becomes much more complicated.
From the human level, it seems that it gives permission, even in the existence of a contract, to let somebody harass someone else because a relationship goes bad. And now you're holding over someone's head and, in effect, leverage the very idea of having children brought in the world when they're not even together or whatever else. Forget the unseemliness of it. I think borders on harassment, too, what he's trying to do to her.
Well, sometimes people unknowingly bring children into the world, and they have to deal with the
okay, but in that
broad
case,
consequences.
There was mutual consent when they conceived. In this particular case, there were conditions before, at least by the law, the conception would be recognized. So there was paper on this. Everybody's feelings were both documented in terms of what the conditions were if this ever were to come to be. It just seems that the guy wants to make up the rules on the fly as he's going along, even though everybody understood there would be no kids or no family. You disagree?
The contract says need mutual consent for either one to use them.
Yeah.
He's saying, I don't want them destroyed. I don't know where I come out on this.
Really?
Listen, if it's just for the purpose of harassment, it's ridiculous, and I understand that. But it's not what the contract says. What if he said, I did find somebody else?
But now it's her kids too, Jimmy.
But they're his too.
Okay, but in the end, if it takes 2 to tango, and if both of them don't want the child, why does he get to decide to have the child? And there was a contract.
But if one wants him and the other one does, why does she get to decide? I don't know the answer. But my point is, the contract says nobody can use it.
Nobody gets to decide. The contract's clear. The contract says they have to agree. Now, I think, to your point, Jim, that you can't destroy them unless they both agree. And you can't use them without both agreeing. So that means that they sit in limbo. But
Solomon, he figured it all out. All right, guys, thank you all very much. Great job as always. We come back, I'll have some Hudson Valley headlines. Stay with us.